It's 6:20. Let's take a look at your money. For many Americans, college sports create a lot of loyalty and fanfare, and they also generate a lot of money for their respective schools. According to data from Sportico, for some sports, those sports revenues can generate nearly $250 million a year. And we want to say a good morning to financial advisor Mark Grevicheski joining us live on Zoom to break this down for us. And with the first question, where does most of this revenue come from, and what universities, I should say, typically generate the most revenues from their sports programs?
Yeah, first off, good morning to you, Devin. Great to see you again. To kind of get to your question there, the main sources of revenue, really come from, ticket sales, big corporate individual donors, media rights, and licensing of merchandise. Now, obviously, some universities collect a lot more money than others. For that fiscal year 2023, of the 134 largest universities in the country, the Ohio State University generated the most, collecting $279.6 million in athletic revenues across its 38 men's and women's varsity sports teams. Ohio State also ranked #1 last year and has been in the top 3 in 5 of the last 6 years. At #2 is the University of Texas, whose sports teams generated $271.1 million in revenues. Kind of rounding out the top 5, so to speak, Texas A&M, University of Michigan, and the University of Georgia. Locally, the Iowa Hawkeyes ranked #18, the University of Illinois #27, while the Cyclones of Iowa State ranked #48. So, you can kind of see this big gap in sports revenue, between those top 5, top 10 universities and the rest of the nation. Now, for perspective, kind of a little bit of an interesting tidbit here. Northern Illinois University ranks #102 in the nation for sports revenue generated. Last year, NIU generated just $10.4 million in total sports revenues. That's just 3.7% of the total revenues that Ohio State generated from all of its sports teams.
Andrew was hearing you on that one. He's NIU grad there. Well, which individual sports typically generate the most revenues for their university?
Yeah, no, great question. Look, when you break it down into those individual sports teams, you really need to differentiate between, generating revenue versus generating profits, which are revenues less expenses. Obviously, each college sports team incurs its own significant costs and expenses to operate. Now, generally, things can kind of vary from one university to the next, but generally, outside of football, and in some cases, men's basketball, the majority of college sports teams don't generate a profit. They actually lose money. Just look at Ohio State and Texas. Again, those two big titans of college sports revenue. At Ohio State, of the 18 men's teams and 20 women's teams, only football and men's basketball posted a profit. Last year, the Buckeye football team generated a net profit of $55 million, while its men's basketball team generated a profit of $9.7 million. The other 36 sports teams at OSU generated a combined net loss of over $55 million. So like many other schools across the nation, the profits from Ohio State's football team were used to cover the losses of nearly all other sports teams at the university. Again, look at Texas. The football program generated a massive $122 million in profit last year, while its men's basketball team posted a profit of $6.5 million. The university's other 15 varsity sports teams all lost money, reporting a cumulative loss of over $30 million. So look, I understand when some people might say, why is so much attention paid to football than all the other college sports out there? But the answer is simple, Devin. It's money.
That's what I was going to say. Sports equal money, and we're opening a whole can of worms here, right? So that's just all
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. Well, we appreciate your versatility. We do that. So we'll thank you, and we'll see you next week.
All right, Devin. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week.
All right.